This is the brand new Transformers Legacy United Gears. Yes, this Autobot is a much sought after Transformer, and I've got him here. But I'm not just gonna review him. This is a versus review. So we're gonna put him up against the Transformers Generations Thrilling 30 version of Gears with his buddy Eclipse. But wait, there's more. Because I'm also going to review the Mech Fan Toys version of Gears. So we got all kinds of Gears here, and we're gonna go through each of them, and at the end, you're gonna go into the comments and tell me which one you think is better. I'm Captain Kyle, welcome to this triple versus review, and we will be right back. Now you might have been wondering why I used we when I said we'll be right back. Well, I consider Gears a friend. And Gears. So we're all back. I'm not someone with multiple personalities. I am not royal that I know of. But let's start out in this triple versus review with the brand new Legacy, which everyone wants to know about, except those who already have them. And then, you know, you're like, you're just preaching to the choir. Show me the other shit. Speaking of shit, here's a shitty piece of paper. We're gonna get rid of that. It's a very nice box, but of course windowless, and with all kinds of blasting and headlight action on there. We'll put that aside. We have instructions, and we have Autobot paper on the back. Could it be drugs? It has never been drugs. Why I always say it could be drugs, I don't know. But we're gonna take this out, which I believe is part of his chest plate and likely his weapon. Oh shit, drugs. No, I'm kidding, I'm totally kidding. Hasbro wouldn't be that nice to me. No, why not? I give him a lot of money. But in this, there is the chest shield. So there was recently someone asking about why the chest shield wasn't on Gears in the box. Too easy to pop off, too easy to get lost, too easy for someone to steal. He also has this nice little gun. Very nice Autobot tissue paper. You know, they could sell this for gift wrap and stuff. People would buy it. Just looking out for you, Hasbro. And there he is on the cardboard prison, but we are going to snip him off, get rid of these plastic restraints. They got him worse than Hannibal Lecter on here. I'm having an old friend for dinner with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. But all right, so there is Gears. Of course, we do need to put his chest shield on, or else he kind of feels a little naked. Topless Gears. What do you think about that? So we will take the chest shield here. It's pretty self-explanatory how to put it on. Pop it into place, and there, he looks much better. I'll even give him his gun and then zoom in on him so you can get in there, gun. So you can get a full view of this Autobot hero, who is kind of a pain in the ass. Of course, Gears was featured in the Autobot cartoon throughout season 1, throughout season 2, and even had an episode called Changing Gears, which is all about him. Towards the end of season 2, he didn't appear as much. They were focusing on new toys, but he was also in the comics. He teamed up with a black-suited Spider-Man. And fun fact, the reason he teamed up with a black-suited Spider-Man and not a regular red and blue costume Spider-Man is because at the time Mattel was doing the Marvel Secret Wars collection, and Hasbro refused to have Spider-Man in the comic promoting their toys because they were afraid it would be promoting Mattel's toys. But Marvel said, hey, wait a minute. They don't have the license to the black costume, so why don't we use black costume Spider-Man? And then they agreed and history was made. So there you go, Gears. You are very special as the only Autobot to team up with a Marvel superhero. Officially, I'm sure there's fanfics out there. But all right, so let's take a look at him from all his angles. You can see at the top of the truck, it's like a backpack for the hood. You can also take his gun and plug it in to that backpack. If he's busy doing other stuff, he doesn't necessarily need to hold his gun all the time. And you can point it down or up, and then it's like almost like a antenna on his backpack. But before we get into any changing or anything like that, let's take a look at some posability. So starting at the bottom, does he have any type of ankle swivels? Yes, he do. So he can be in a wide stance. He can ride a horse, and you know, very small horse will go through his legs. But anyway, there he is with his ankle swivels, which they go a long way. Don't think they really need to go that far, do you? Now, full Jean-Claude Van Damme, can he do it? Just like Bob the Builder, yes, he can. And he can even stay in that position. His legs are square enough that he's not tipping or cow tipping. That was like a really bad callback to the Wild West riding a horse thing. Sorry. Anyway, he can kick forward quite well. He can kick back quite well. He can kick to the side, which we kind of knew. he can bend at the knee. And actually, it's quite a nice knee bend. A little more than the normal 90 degrees. He can definitely get that knee up in there. Can he twist at the waist? Well, guess what? He can. Look at that. Spinning like a top. Now, doesn't seem to have any type of ab crunch. He does have the ability to go in there and take his gears. And his arms will go all the way around. And he can bend at the elbow. It can swivel all the way around. The fists themselves can twist. No articulation in the fingers, but I mean, he's just deluxe, so. Which is a step up from the basic core class, whatever the hell you were, mini car in the beginning. You can also move his arm out to the side. It can move back and forth like so from the shoulder, so he could like put the matrix in there. No matrix for him. And his head, it can turn all the way around, but when you do that, it pushes his backpack aside. So just turning it to the side pushes the backpack back. So where I can do it, you have to move the backpack out of the way. Now he's got nice stability, nice heels here in the back, and overall, he's a pretty good representation of Gears. His arms can, by the way, go back and forth. He can shrug, he can complain. His face, well, let's take a look at his face in the G1 cartoon. Looking at a picture, which I'm gonna put up on the screen because I can do that. The face is pretty dang close. He's got a couple details on his forehead that do not show up in the animation model. Same thing with on his chest. And the lines may be a little closer to the sides of his face than the animation, but he's really dang close and nicely done. Of course, the lower body does not really 100% look like the cartoon, but it's actually not far off. All right, so there you have the new Legacy Gears. But before we get into his vehicle mode, we're gonna put him aside for a moment and we're gonna break out the Generations one. Now, it actually is not attached to the card, but you know, so let's take him out. And his arm came off because it was really stuck in there, but luckily this is ball joint era, so we can pop that back on. And he also comes with a little buddy by the name of Eclipse, who becomes a weapon, and let's just see how they suspect he should be made into a weapon. So there he is with his buddy Eclipse as his gun, so he's kind of like a target master, though his gun is a triple changer. Gun to vehicle, like almost a space shuttle, to robot. But let's take a look at him here, and yeah, pretty cool looking robot. Let's take a look at him without Eclipse in his hand from all angles. Now, I will say, looking at him, the face, not nearly as cartoon accurate as the one from Legacy, but he's still Gears-ish. And let's go through some posability. Now, there are no ankle rockers on these guys from, you know, the Thrilling 30 Days. However, let's see, he can actually do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme, and the wheels allow him to go back and forth when he's in that position, so he can be like, nee, 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 nee. He can kick forward, which is nice. He can kick back, even a bit higher. Side kick, obviously. Bends at the knee, and like the Legacy, it's more than just a 90-degree bend, so that is pretty good. Can he twist at the waist? Unfortunately, there is no twisting at the waist. That's a shame, but c'est la vie. Arms can go all the way around, he can bend at the elbow, and he can swivel out. Now, if you move it down, you can swivel it around. He's got the rear view side mirrors on his arms that kind of get in the way from moving it all the way over. But still, he can go out to the sides, he can kind of go down, a little bit forward and back, so a little bit of expression there. The head, yeah, that's, well, let's see here. Can it turn? It can push forward a little bit, but no, it does move forward, and you can push that down to make his hood a little less crazy looking. But no turning. If you can turn it, I don't know how you turn it back. Just a little forward and back. So there he is, and again, he's got his Target Master weapon. Pretty neat looking guy, not a ton of back kibble, other than, you know, obviously there's some wheels and wheels on the shoulder. All right, this is the Mech Fan Toys version. And looking at his face, that looks pretty damn cartoon accurate as well. In fact, doesn't have the extra detailing that the Legacy one has. He does not have any type of ankle swivels, and even though they're ball joints, the ball joints are set up in such a way that he can do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. And they're quite square, but he's a little leaning to the back, so he flops. But still, he can also kick forward. Now, not as high as some of the others, so, and back, he is also not as high as some of the others. He hits against the cab part of the truck, but he can do a side kick and he can bend at the knee, but unlike the others, his knee bend is very constrained. I mean, basically, this piece in the back here blocks, so he cannot bend very far. There's no ab crunch. Can he twist at the waist? He cannot. And actually, because of how he transforms, that makes perfect sense why he cannot. Arms can go all the way around. He bends at the elbow. He's got this nice little silver gun here. He actually comes with several weapons. I just have those packed away, and he is just using the silver gun, which I thought was the best one for him. But yep, arms swivel around. Head does turn, not all the way around, but from side to side, and it's a good distance, so he can definitely look to the side. But looking at him compared to the pictures of him in animation, also pretty close. No Autobot symbol. You know, Mech Fan Toys decided not to put an Autobot symbol on him. And interestingly, his fists, which don't turn, are dark gray, which matches more the picture than the Legacy one does. So there are some bits that make this a little closer. His feet, his toes aren't as far out, so that's kind of, but what can you say? It's still a very cool looking third party. Not a ton of kibble other than the top of the cab of the truck on the back, and you can kind of see the wheels there, and you can see the wheels in the front. All right, so those are our 3 contenders in robot mode. Let us put the Legacy into his vehicle mode. Oh, one thing I didn't mention about him, yes, he bends at the elbow, but he can like bend all the way back, which is part of the transformation, so it makes sense. And so there is Legacy Gears in his truck mode. Just give him a spin, you can take a look. He's definitely looks very similar, but not exact, to the animation model. The truck style seems a little more modern, like he's got a rear seat in the cab, but still it looks overall very similar. A little bit of an update to Gears, but very similar. Now you can store his weapon here on the side. Apparently you can also put it on the top, which is nice. You can use it as a weapon, which makes it a little less irritating to me. Even though, again, they should have given him 2 weapons. Then he could put both of them, one on each side, and he could then blast Decepticons in his vehicle mode. Of course, they should have made them mirrored weapons, because it's got the one post on the right side. They should have made the other one with the post on the left side, and then it would be nicely mirrored. But a nice looking truck. Now, he is nearly 4 inches long, which reminds me I have to go back and change it back into a robot so I can measure him in robot mode. But time for the roll test. I am actually impressed. This is, okay, he slid out a bit there, but overall, he rolls pretty nice. Better than many that I've seen. So there he is. Let's move on to the Thrilling 30 Gears, which I'm gonna try to transform him without referring to the instructions, because I think I might be able to manage, or maybe not. I probably could have figured it out. Just didn't want to force this hood without being sure that that's how it actually moved. So there he is in his vehicle mode. He definitely looks like a truck-ish thing. Almost more like a mini Humvee, or, you know, some type of sport vehicle or a small SUV. Not quite the same vibe as the original truck, but still, you can put his weapon on top and blast away. I mean, he's got pretty nice tires. The shade of blue is a little lighter than this one, but overall, he's a nice looking little truck, about 3 1/4 inches in length, and also impressive rolling. Ah! Don't Thelma and Louise on me. So, a nice version of Gears, but as far as being a G1, it's an homage, and it's got similarities, but doesn't quite look totally G1-ish. All right, let's get this guy into his vehicle mode. And there he is in his vehicle mode. Now I put the gun on top, which is for weapon storage, but we can take it off for now, just so you can get an idea. And I'd say he looks really close to the original Gears. I mean, the white stripes on his rear end, which are basically his legs, kind of detract a little bit from it, but overall, he looks like closest to the mini car yet. And he also rolls very well. So Gears has got it in gear, rolling very nicely. He is actually the shortest, slightly under 3 inches in his vehicle mode, but he's very, very nice. Very nice. All right, I didn't do this in the robot mode, so I'm gonna be switching these guys back real quick so I can show you this. But there they are, all next to each other in their vehicle modes, just so you can kind of compare, going by height. Definitely lighter coloration on the Thrilling 30, These guys are much closer to the darker shade, but in actuality, Thrilling 30 might be closer to the original Gears shade, who rolls okay. It's still a triple review. I'm just throwing him in for size comparison. Obviously, the original is the smallest, but a fine group of gears. All right, let's transform. So there they are together in their robot modes. Legacy Gears is about 4.5 inches long, tall rather. 3 3/4 for our Thrilling 30, and a similar 3 3/4 for our Mech Fan Toys, as opposed to the 2 1/4 inch original. So these are the 3 contenders. Now, I didn't really talk too much about Eclipse because he's a weapon and not really a Gears, but there he is in his little robot mode. Small little fella. We've seen him in his gun mode and very simple transformation into his like jet mode right here. We'll put him aside. But yeah, very cool figures. And again, it is not my job to pick out which one is the best. They all have good parts and bad parts. He's got a friggin' Target Master triple changer. But it's up to you to let me know in the comments which one of these you think is best. And I will put links to all these guys in the description. And what the heck, I'll put a link to the original one as well. But yeah, let me know which one of these you like the best. And it's definitely an upgrade for this mini-bot. And yeah, you may like one over the others. You might want all 3. I know I do. But Gears is definitely a cranky but fun Autobot. Fun Autobot to make fun of. Definitely not the most pleasant individual all the time. You know it is pleasant making these videos for you, and I hope you're having a great time watching. And while you are mulling over which of these, or if all of these please you, you can check out this video over here, which is another Mini-bot Beachcomber, the Legacy versus the Titans Return. And we will see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.